Okay, let me share with my screen again. Oh, what is it? I'm using Chrome. So this is the file. Hope it is visible. Okay. So we'll just continue for next 10 minutes, not more than that. I would like to discuss these things so that you can practice few other examples. The following thing is completed, right? Okay. And if you see the output formatting, so sometimes we are interested to print some values like this. Let me show it. See, here I'm assigning a value x as 5 and value y with the value 10, the operand y with the value 10. See, if I'm interested to perform or print the following statement like this, suppose the value of x is 5 here and the value of y is 5 here. Here I am using this braces as placeholders. We call this braces as placeholders in Python, and we are using a format called as dot format of x comma y. So here in the first placeholder, I am going to get the x value, and in the second placeholder, I am going to get the y value. If I use in this fashion, it will result with some output. This is what we are expecting to get as our output. So we can use a special operation called as dot format, str dot format. It is a str dot format, and as many braces or as many placeholders we insert in our statement in the quotations and specify their values, their operand names here. The following operand's value is printed in this statement. Okay. Did you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. In other format, this is also a similar format. So here what I am doing is initially just for my reference, I am using name in this first placeholder as greetings in the second placeholder. Here the different thing from the above example is here. Let me just show you. If I place x and y interchangeably, I'm going to get an output in a reverse fashion. X is assigned with 10 value. Actually, I have assigned x with the value 5 and y with 10, but here I am going to get it in a reverse format because here I have inserted them in a reverse fashion. So it will give us the output in that format. But if you do not want to follow the sequence, whatever we do is we are going to give some name to these placeholders like name and greeting. And in the format option, we are going to give a message, the value for name as well as greeting. Here I am not following the order. First, here I have used name, but in the format what do you call parenthesis? First, I am creating greeting, and next I am going for the name. So it will give me something like hello Neeraj, good morning. This is the format, and this is all about the output formatting. Next, just let us see what is a type conversion. Type conversion is used to convert one type of data into some other data type. Let me say I'm having a string and I'm interested to convert the string value into a integer type. Then I use type conversion. Type conversion is of two types. First one is the implicit type conversion and the second one is the explicit type conversion. And coming to the implicit type conversion, we need not to use any extra keyword to convert any type of data into another type. It is automatically done by the Python compiler itself. Let us see how it is possible. Let me say, here I am using a variable called as a, and I am giving it an integer value, and I am having b with a floating point value, and here I am adding both the values c, which is equal to a plus b. If I see the output for type of a, it will be an integer and it denotes a class. It is of integer class, and type of b is of floating point value class and float class. And when I have performed an addition, I have got the result as 22.34. So here the Python compiler is automatically setting some data type to the result or the output which we have performed in the statement, that is addition. 22.34. When we are interested to see the type of the variable C, then it will automatically be a floating point value. So here we are not converting or not declaring any data types. The Python compiler itself is assigning some data type to the variable based on its value. Okay. So, and let us see what is the importance of this explicit type conversion. Let us see with the example so that you can clearly understand. Here I am having f is equal to value 10 and g is equal to value 345. Here I have mentioned 345 in the form of a string. So g will be of format string. Let us just, before performing this operation, let us see the type of g. It will result in str. So g is of str format. When I am performing addition, let me say I am supposed to perform this following addition, I will get an error, and the error is type error. Unsupported operand type, integer and string values cannot be added. So what should I do to perform addition between f and g? Whatever I need to do is I need to convert the following string type to integer type. So let us see explicit type conversion. It converts the data type of an object to required data type, like some predefined built-in functions. There are integer, float and string. So here I am interested to convert this following string into float integer value. So I am using the keyword called as int of g. Whatever it is resulting is 355. See, whatever I did it same here, but it resulted as error as both strings are not, both operands are not of same type. But as I have converted here g to integer type, it has performed the addition operation and has given the output. So I have mentioned some key points to remember regarding this. What do we call type conversions, or we call it as typecasting. This is typecasting. Type conversion is a conversion of object from one data type to another data type. Yes, I have explained it. Implicit type conversion is automatically performed by Python type interpreter. Fine. Python avoids the loss of data in implicit type conversion. Here we have seen it might give us an output like only 22, but it has also given an output called as 22.34. Since it is not interested to lose its value, it is giving a precise value. The data is not lost. Explicit type conversion is also called as typecasting, as we are converting one data type into another data type, which is also called as casting. It is named as typecasting. And in typecasting, loss of data may occur as you force the object to specify data type. So just let me show you the example. 0.5 and I am converting it to some integer. So what it is saying, something integer which we are having some base value or some decimal value, it cannot add it to the integer value. It cannot be converted into the integer value. So it is saying in that fashion. Let us try like this. It will just result in the output as 355. What do you think here? What it does? It has just added a value here. Just 345 is added with 10 and it ignored 0.5. So the following last point says this example. You should have another example for understanding related to strings also, right? Let me create another example. Is equal to 333. I want it to return int of k. Let me sprint. So here one thing you might have observed or not. If I am going to use something like this, if I am interested to get the value, these both values, I cannot get it if I am interested to get the both values, both the operation values, I need to use print statement so that I'll get both the results. 343 is the output as you have added 333 plus 11. This is the output, and this is the point you need to remember. And so far you have seen a static input declaration. So if you are interested to give an input by yourself using the compiler, we need to use a syntax or the function called as input function. So whenever we are going to use the input function, it will ask for us an output and prints its value. Let me say here I have used input as my function. What I am asking is I'm interested to take a dynamic input rather than giving a static input. Hope you are aware of what is static and dynamic. If I am assigning some value a, if I am assigning some value a like this, then we call it as static declaration. Already I am giving it in my program only. And if I'm interested to take a dynamic input, that means from the compiler or the interpreter, or what do you call it as console, then we call it as dynamic declaration. See, whenever I run for it, as I am using the input statement, it is still running. When I type some value called 16 and press enter, it is going to give me the output 16. It has taken an input 16 into the integer, so into a variable a, and has given us the output. Here something you need to make a point that I have given an integer value as input, but what is the type of a? It has resulted in string. So whenever we are using input to take a dynamic input declaration, dynamic input, the format which we get or the type which we get is a string format. Let me run this again. And if I'm giving some statement like hello and print it, so it has also taken a string as the input. Again, the following hello is also having a type of string. So if I'm interested to convert the following, previously I have given 10, right? So let me give 10 again and see for the output. The following 10 is having a type of string. And if I'm interested to convert this string type to integer type, what I need to do is a is equal to int of a. So it returns us the integer class type, since the a is converted into a integer type. This is how you take inputs. Okay. Next we are having import function. With this I'll be concluding that today's session. So the usage of this import is we can import some function or some value or some module from another package. Let me say we are having two files. So here, as I am using an interactive notebook, I need not to create any file. But if you go for if you don't go for the online compilers and we are interested to do in our system, what we need to do is we need to create a text file with an extension .py, which means the Python file. And in the other file, I am interested to import that package. Whatever the keyword I need to use is import. Here math is already in inbuilt module in our Python. So what I am doing is I am importing the math module. In math module, I have a value called pi. It is already predefined. I have not defined it anywhere. And I am printing the pi value. Print of the statement which is in the quotations with a comma, and I'm printing the value math.pi. It is resulting in a pi value 3.1415926 and so on. And some other math functions which are available in our math module are math.facts. It returns the absolute value of a number. Let us quickly see the examples so that you can understand. math dot fabs fabs of, what it is saying, absolute value. Let me say -11, and let's see. So oh, it is saying math is not imported. Let us first import math. As I didn't run the previous cell, it is saying that math is not imported. Uh, Let us just see. So it has given us 11. So it is giving the absolute of the value, and print of math dot factorial of, hope you all know the factorial of 5. Let us see whether it gives the 5 a factorial of 5. It has resulted me 120, the factorial of 5. And seal, exponential, floor, power are also some functions. Let me say, what do we call? There are inbuilt functions in our math module. We can just use them, and there are many more math module. There are many more math functions in the math module. You just explore them in the internet. I cannot discuss all those here, but if you explore them by yourself, you can have a clear understanding. Let me see the working of this seal. When I am interested to cut off this decimal values, I am only interested to get some value which is having, let me read the statement, you can understand. Math.seal rounds off a number to the nearest integer. Rounds a number up to the nearest integer. Let me say I am having 12.34. So if I use math.seal function, it will result in an output called as 13. And if I use math.floor for the same m is equal to 12.334, math.floor rounds a number down to the nearest integer. The integer below this number is resulted as output. The integer above this 12.334 is resulted as output in seal and floor functions. And this exponential function is, if you want some e power 10, then we are using this exponential function. Oh, why late? Let's just try math.ext of sum 10. This is the exponential value of 10. Okay. And if I'm interested to get the power, I need to give two variables, math.power, and I'm interested to get 5 cube, 5 comma 3. So it has no power. Okay, it is only POW. So it has given me an output as 5 power 3, which is called as 125. These are some math functions I have explaining. You just refer to some websites like W3 schools or any other thing like Java T-Pond. You will find many more math functions. So if you are using math functions, it will reduce your code complexity. For suppose in a code, if you are supposed to find a factorial of a number, you need not to write the logic from the starting itself. You can just use this function so that it returns the output in a single value. And we are having some extra function called as binary. If I'm going to use this function binary of 45, it will result as the binary format of this 45. This is the octal format of 45, and this is the hexadecimal format of 45. And CHR, we know ASCII values, right? So if I want to get the character which is having a ASCII value of 98, it returns us with the B. So if 98 is A, then 99 should be C, right? So CHR of 99, it results in C. And if I'm interested to know the ASCII value of a special character, you can also use it in single quotations. ASCII value of A, it resulted 65. If I see ASCII value of small a, it results in 197, as C is 99, A is 97. And I have given 2 examples for you people. Shall we just continue with these 2 examples, or will be continuing tomorrow? Hello.
We'll continue tomorrow, sir.
We'll continue tomorrow. Okay, you just try them. I will not show you. The first example is to find the square root of a number, and second example is to calculate the area of a triangle. And for the tomorrow's class, you just try them. If not, I will be explaining. And this is all for the today. Thank you.